Hey guys, it's day 21 and I have a message for you. These are the best donuts on the entire planet. If you are anywhere near Southeast Michigan for any reason, or if you're traveling through there, I don't care. If you are able to come near this place, it's called Yates Cider Mill. They have the best flippin' donuts ever. Okay? I'm not joking. You can talk about your mom and pop shop in your small little town, and they all taste the same. You can just go to Tim Hortons, you get the same dang donuts. These are on an entirely different level. Okay. That's enough fun for now. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm gonna finish this donut. Straight out of the oven, they just freaking melt in your mouth. They're so good. Oh my goodness. So week 3 is over, and I had a lot of fun this week. I did a lot of cool stuff. I was able to travel a bit. I spent a lot of time with my family. I was basically home Wednesday through Saturday night. And overall, just like life-wise, it was a pretty cool week. I think I made some pretty decent videos. Easily my favorite video of the week was day 16. Lake Michigan is always such a treat when you get to see it. If you're in the Midwest, Lake Michigan is one of the most beautiful coastlines in the entire world. And that's no exaggeration. Lake Michigan is gorgeous. But anyways, we'll jump right into it. I want to make this shorter than 24 minutes like last week. We'll try and make this more concise. Day 15, Mondays are my Sundays. Now, to me, this is a really important revelation because where I am right now, I don't fit into the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job that a decent amount of people work. A lot of people, even if they don't work that kind of work schedule, they still consider the weekend the weekend. Ooh, that's from the donut. It's important because not only is it about taking the time that's right for you, but it's also about not comparing yourself to other people. I believe it's really important to always compare yourself to you and not look at other people. It leads to a lot of envy and jealousy. It can lead to some productive competition from my experience, but compare yourself to who you were before and not where other people are. Because there's so many people in this world that are gonna do seemingly better things and bigger things, and their careers are gonna take off, and that's all you're gonna see, and you're gonna feel like a tiny little fish. But if you compare yourself to who you were before, you're gonna see that you're growing larger and larger, and eventually by the time you are the big fish and you've had success and you have a career or you've had happiness in whatever form that is, you're not even gonna realize what it took to be there. You're just gonna see what you were before and what you are now, and you're gonna be happy and no rivalry, and you'll just enjoy having everyone a part of your life. But more pertinent to the lesson, you know, it is still very important to relax every once in a while. Working yourself to death can get you burnt out. There are only certain people that can withstand working so hard for an extended period of time. So most of us who aren't used to it, give yourself a break. You know, every once in a while, you work really hard, you deserve just a little bit of respite. So that was day 15. Day 16 is Smell the Roses. Now, like I said, this is my favorite video this week. Easily. I mean, it's obvious. This is the best video, at least for me. One of the biggest things that I like about this one is that I like recording in this space. I like it a lot. It looks good. It's very controlled. There's not a whole lot of environmental factors. I can control exactly what I can put into it. But I do like when I can get out and record this part of the videos out on location. So if I have a day in the woods, I can go record that part of the video in the woods and show you guys what I'm doing in my life, but also sharing what I'm learning at the same time. Most of the videos when I have it set up like this, you only really get a sense of what I'm doing at the beginning and the end of the video. I think it's also especially important when the lesson pertains. I think it's especially important when the lesson involves or draws from experiences that I can show on camera. So day 16, it was just packed nice and tight in a nice little bow. It was about taking the time to appreciate what you have, and I shot it with my girlfriend while we were on the beaches of Lake Michigan, and it was just perfect. And I also think it's a nice length. Having someone else talking with me and being there makes me more focused, and I shorten my speech a little bit so I don't ramble on. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So 16, it was perfect. It was short, very sweet, and I think it was very well put together, and it was just a very cool video. So day 17 is I want to know more. Now, I've thought about the lesson here, which is, or was rather, that I want to take a more in-depth understanding of less things instead of knowing general, not a whole lot, general things and not a whole lot about a lot of different topics. I've thought about this a little bit, and I kind of realized that my brain doesn't naturally learn the way that I was wanting it to be in this video. I realized that I take a more general knowledge of things. I realized this today when I was trying to think of a definition of something, and all I could think of was the description of the word, and I couldn't think of the term for it. And I thought that was a good indicator of how my brain works. Now, that's not to say that I can't train my brain to learn more in-depth information and go really crazy into detail about a certain topic. I'm not saying that I'm not capable of that, but it will be a little bit harder to get to that point. So I think it's also I think it's very important to check up on these sorts of things, and part of the learning process is realizing something, a fault, something, an observation, and then building off of it. It's not just a concrete black and white. You learn something and then you're done with it. You learn something and then it's very progressive. You add to it, you modify it, and you just, that idea and that lesson continues to grow and grow and grow, and it never finishes. So this is another example of exactly that. So like I've said in the past, I'm not afraid to revisit lessons in these videos and say, I'm not sure about that, or actually this didn't really work out exactly the way I was thinking it. So I think it's important to reflect on this, and that's part of the reason I'm doing these long weekend videos recapping the previous week's lessons. Day 18 is visit new places. Now, this is a lesson that's stuck with me. I've told a lot of people about this sort of thing, visiting new places, and I firmly believe that the way that we can truly experience life and achieve a lot of happiness is to continue to gain new experiences. Our first, let's say, 16 years of our life are filled with new experiences, and time seems to go so slow. It's like when we were kids, we were so bored. What do? We're just sitting around. We got nothing to do. And the day lasted so long. And then take it now, when I'm 22, the days can just fly by like crazy. I'm just doing lots of stuff, finding ways to entertain myself and keep myself busy, and not a whole lot of new experiences. I'm not learning a lot of, so these days are just gonna fly by. And if I continue that path where I don't continue to get new experiences, then the days are just gonna keep going like crazy, and then my life is just gonna be gone. Where to go? I don't know. Like, so I firmly believe that new experiences are important to achieving a really fulfilling life. And visiting new places is part of that deal. And I think it's a very easy way to gain new experiences. I mean, like I said in the video, you can travel 20 minutes, you can travel an hour, or you can travel 5 minutes. You can go to a new restaurant, what have you. It's super easy. You don't even have to spend money. You can just travel to a new town, go to a park, hang out there, maybe talk to a couple people that live there. It's super easy, it's inexpensive, and if you have half a day, you can achieve exactly what you are setting out to do, which is gain a new experience. So I think this lesson is going to stick around for a while, and it's going to be one of those bedrock kind of lessons where it doesn't really change very much, but a lot grows on top of it, and eventually you get a beautiful forest. Day 19, which is looking fresh takes effort. No new thoughts really. I just got to keep refining my grooming. You know, it's a very long process. Each day you try something new, maybe you stick with it and see how it works. And also each day provides its own challenges. Like yesterday it was very, very humid, and I mean, you could tell from my hair. And then today I wore a hat for basically half the day, more than half the day, and it's done all right. And I used a different product, and it's more reworkable. So it's just, I gotta keep working on it, and eventually looking fly won't take any effort. But on the production side of the video, I liked the different little images that I showed in the video of like Henry Cavill and the movie that I was showing, or that I was talking about, and I thought that added a lot to it with not a lot of effort involved. So that was cool. That was day 19. Now day 20, candles are amazing. Now this is one of the videos that I like to throw in there when I think some of the previous videos are getting too serious. You know, candles are amazing, obviously isn't too heavy, but I like to throw videos in like this that are fun and energetic, or at least I try to make them fun and energetic. I understand if they don't come off as that, but you know, just like the first video I talked about in this video, my Mondays are my Sundays. You just got to take a little rest. You can't, most people can't hammer something every day all the time. You just got to take a sec, and this video was one of those cases. If I don't take these breaks and I do something fun and just a little lighthearted, just like the avocados video in week 2, then eventually these more serious, deep topics kind of lose their punch. To me, and I'm sure you as the viewer will lose that punch, and they won't come off as substantial, because when every single video is deep philosophical life advice, then suddenly after a while none of it is, and it's just a wash. So every once in a while, just do one of those fun videos, try and do a little humor in there. If it doesn't work, I completely understand. I know mostly I'm only funny to myself, and when I'm funny to other people, it's just a side effect. So that was day 20. Now day 21 is today, obviously, but I wanted, like I did last week, I want to have a lesson for these videos as well, just so I can keep the streak of each day having something I learned. So today is grow up and weather the storm. It's a little more professional sounding than it actually means. it's basically just when something happens to you, don't whine about it. You can talk about your problems. You can sit down with someone, discuss your issues, and get emotional and just talk about all this stuff. But just nobody likes when someone whines about something. That's a very adolescent trait when someone whines, and I don't feel the need to explain when I don't feel the need to explain the meaning of whining and the difference between whining and explaining your problems. I think most of you can kind of figure that out, but I also think this might be just a perspective thing for me. Whenever I was helping my dad with a project, just little things, maybe like launching the jet skis in the water, or helping him put the hardwood floor in the basement or whatever. Something I learned from doing all those projects is just, if you're assigned a task or you want to finish something, just go at it. If something happens, if something goes wrong, it's no one's fault. It's everybody's job to fix it, and just don't whine about it. Nobody likes when everyone's working towards a goal and just someone starts whining about their problem. Meanwhile, everyone else is just working really hard, trying to get to the end. Something I learned from my internship 2 years ago, which really stuck with me, is fix the problem, not the blame. I think that's a characteristic of when people whine, is that they're trying to blame other people for the problem. And when people don't whine, everybody can work together to fix the problem. So I think that's important. Also, just personally, it's very annoying to me. And that's not to say that I am impervious to it, because everybody does it. I think it's just important to know when either it's appropriate time to do it, or to realize that you're doing it. I think is also important, and not to do it too much. Everything is good in moderation, and I think whining is something that you can keep to a very, very limited amount of times. And if you can do that, I think that a lot of people will appreciate you for that. So that was my lesson for day 21, grow up and weather the storm. Now, as a summary, I think it was another great week. Week 3 was really fun. Like I said, I got to go on some adventures. Just as a general criticism to myself, I like to think of more concrete topics to talk about. I'm getting much more comfortable with this whole talking thing. A few of the videos this week, I've only had to cut once or twice in the main part of the video, which is crazy to think about, that I'm able to sit down and talk for 8 minutes straight with a steady stream of thought. But my point is the more I get comfortable, the more I tend to ramble on, and that's why some of the videos have gotten longer and longer this week. I still want to keep them around 5 minutes. So one of my goals for this next week is to come up with more concrete ideas so I can be more concise when I'm talking about them, instead of getting carried away and just going hog wild with talking and being like, wow, I could just do this for 2 hours. Everybody's going to listen to me for 2 hours, right? You don't have to answer that. Please don't answer that. So that's one thing. And just in general, I appreciate all of you for the support. Like I've been saying, I've been getting a lot of feedback and support and viewership from a lot of my friends and family. So thank you so much for that. It means a lot that you guys are supporting me on my adventure to learn. And I also want to plainly state that I am there to support you on your journey to learning and growing. If any of you would want help, I'm always there. So as always, if you learned something today, leave it in the comments. I want to learn what you are learning, so we can start a conversation and we can join together on this journey through growth. And as always, so we can learn together and grow together. I'll see you tomorrow.